Hello everyone, Gifted Soul here. So I have an unboxing. I'm not really sure if you'll be able to see clearly because I don't have the best quality on my laptop. Um, so when it comes to the camera part anyway. So the unboxing is the Crystal Visions Tarot by Jennifer Galasco. Um, you likely won't be able to see it as clearly. For some reason, the lighting is not good. I'm at my parents' house, so their lighting, for some reason, has always been a bit off. Here until probably a few more days. What I'm doing now is just cutting off my thing. I have to go make sure that if I had the flu or not to make sure. And sometimes I just completely forget to take that thing off. But anyway, so I apologize if you can't see this. You may be able to see it better because sometimes it'll film like this, but then when you actually take a look at it, it looks good. But I'll redo a flip through if this doesn't turn out right. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a full flip through in this video anyway, but I'm going to show some of the cards at least. So I don't know why I keep saying Christian. Crystal Visions Tarot by Jennifer Carrasco, and it's published by U.S. Game Systems. Um, it is a deck of 78 cards, as always with a traditional tarot deck, but there is, I believe, an extra card in here, and it's one of the cards that drew me to even getting the deck. I have not seen all of them, but there were a few I've seen before I purchased, and it was one they included that made me drawn to it. It's the unknown card. You would think that since it's unknown that I really wouldn't be interested in it, but I feel like that card in a reading will pop up for somebody, not for everybody, but for most people it may pop up because you're asking for an answer to a specific question, but it may be that whether the answer is going to be positive or negative, you're not really open to getting an answer from that question. Um, some people are closed off like that. But, if that ever comes up in a reading with me, I'll pull an extra card to clarify what the answer could possibly be. But I feel like, yeah, this card will be in the case of somebody's asking a question, but they don't really want the answer, whether the answer is good or bad. So um, that's why I feel like that card will come up. So the packaging, I normally get most of my decks from the same seller on eBay. They do have brand new and sealed decks, and it's always perfect packaging. But this one was a little bit weird. Well, not weird, but off. Um, but it could also be because of the kind of box it is in. You have the just flimsy box here. It's a beautiful box and design, but it's not easy to hold your cards in. So that's how it came. It looks kind of like it's been tore up or something. So I don't know, but and here is the deck, and it is in plastic. So good thing I have the scissors here, which is right here. Um, and hopefully it's not. I actually don't even know if I need the scissors or not because it's not shrink wrap. It's just plastic. So the plastic is coming off now. Um, so yeah, I want to get to the book first before I get into the cards. So here is the book. It's a little black and white booklet. I love the books that paper books are just so easy to mess up. Let's just put it that way. Even if you keep them stored and put away, they're very easy to destroy. So, anywho, so Crystal Visions Tarot by Jennifer Glasgow, published by U.S. Game Systems. It is a deck I've known about forever, pretty much since I've started getting into cards. Um, because I've always had a natural gift, and yes, you still use a natural gift with cards, but I didn't get into cards until after I just fully discovered that I had like this gift that I really just don't know where it came from. But so it was published in 2011 and printed in Italy. Um, let's just see. You have an introduction about the Crystal Visions Tarot, and I'm going to read to you what it says. Not the whole page, but the bottom half, because I saw something interesting. It says, the name Crystal Visions Tarot was inspired by singer-songwriter Stevie Nicks' CD, Crystal Visions, which was released right around the time Jennifer was planning the deck. Upon hearing the title of the CD, it resonated with Jennifer as a possible title for her tarot deck. Jennifer attributes much of her initial interest in the spiritual realm to Stevie's hunting voice, ethereal nature, and poetic lyrics. The artwork of Crystal Vision Tarot also incorporates Jennifer's interest in crystal balls. Although tarot and scrying are different forms of divination, Crystal Visions has a double meaning, and that it also suggests clear visions, which she thought was very appropriate to the tarot. Jennifer is a fantasy artist and illustrator, so the artwork of the deck is fantastical, with many of the images derived from the elements, although she wouldn't necessarily label it a fairy deck. Much of the imagery is suggestive of the fairy realm. So that's just a little bit about what inspired her to create the deck. From my understanding, she also illustrated it. Um, so yeah, you don't have. Well, actually, I'm not sure if any of the paper books have table of contents, but I don't. You don't get table of contents in this book. Um, which is okay, but it's a lot easier to have when trying to navigate and find the meanings. But um, so it starts with the major arcana. There are no pictures, representations of the cards inside of the book. Um, so you just have the meanings of the cards. Um, at the back of the book, though, there is a spread. I'm just really not sure if you can see that, but if I think I'm gonna redo this eventually. So, um, my parents do not have the best lighting. There is a page um, that talks about reading with the cards. That and it gives you the Celtic cross spread, and then a section to write notes. So yeah, it's a good book, but I mean, if let me see if the meanings may be a little different. Um, so looking at one of the card meanings, it does seem to have some decks are inspired by traditional tarot, but have excuse me, but have different meanings. So that's what I was just trying to check. So it looks like they may have the traditional standard meanings. However, either way, read with your intuition. Let your spirit guides and your angels guide you. So you don't really, like me, one card is not going to mean the same for each person. So, I literally just read from Spirit. My guides give me the answers, and they literally are the ones that give me the cards. So, let's get into the decks. So, there's a card here about Jennifer Glasgow, and yeah, it also has a website and a website to this deck, and also her own website. So, just like a little info card, things like that. And this is the backing. I'm definitely going to have to redo this because this lighting really sucks. Um, Let me see. Not good lighting. Perhaps it could also just be my computer. Um, so you might can see it just a little bit better now, but if you can't, I do apologize. I will try to fix it. Not fix it, but I'm just going to have to, just redo a full flip through at a later time. Me. Okay. So, so it's, if you can't see the color, it's like pink and purple, and there's like a crystal ball here in the middle, and then like there's a cup on each side. And the cups would likely be how you know if it's in reverse or not. So, okay. They are pretty slippery, but I think most decks will come like that, and when you start using them more and get used to using them, they will be easier to handle and they won't be so slippery. So, let's just get into. I'm just going to give some of the cards because the lighting isn't too great. So, and I'll, you know, maybe do a flip through when I've worked with the deck a little bit more and do more of a review. As this is just an unboxing and some first impressions here. So the cards are a lot smaller than I expected. It may be the specific one I purchased. I don't know, but I don't. Maybe my hands just gotten bigger or what have you. But they seem a lot smaller than I had thought. But yeah. So here is the Fool card. So yeah, it's a little hard to see, but um, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, and the Empress, and if I'm not mistaken, she's pregnant in this picture. Um, I may just have been paying too close of attention, but when I seen this card before, she does, however, look pregnant. I don't know if that was the intention or not, though. So the Emperor, the Hierophant, um, the Lovers. I am going to skip some of these because I'm not doing a full flip through right now. just because of how the lighting is turning out. Three of Pentacles, Page of Wands, let me see if I can find the unknown card. There it is. So that is the unknown card, which I think is really interesting. It's more of a chance to kind of use your, you know, abilities. So I'm going to show you how it shuffles for me. Um, if you can see. So, um, because it's so slippery and it's brand new, it's a lot. I have to be more careful with it, but once you get used to it, it won't be like that. Well, for me anyway. And so, let's see. So, while I'm gonna pull us a card and see what energy is around us. Um, just a general card. I will look in the guidebook and give you their meaning and possibly my own spin of what I may feel towards it. But I want to give you information about the deck, so I am going to do their meaning as well. What was that? I do have a process when I shuffle, so that's why it may be taking me long. So we have the Fool, and for some reason I felt like you would get that. Literally the first card of the deck, I did feel like I shuffled pretty well, so I don't know exactly, but yeah. So the Fool can mean different things. It depends on the surrounding cards and, just one's energy. Um, the Fool can be about new beginnings, taking healthy risk, being adventurous, um, having fun, things like that. When it's in the upright, anyway. But it can mean different things um, depending on the nature of the situation. So yeah, the Fool in the guidebooks meaning, it says the Fool represents taking a chance, unlimited potential, enthusiasm. I need Nate. I don't know why. I think that's the Italian word for this. Naive, blind faith, spontaneity, spontaneity, and a zest for life. The Fool is at the beginning of the journey, facing many adventures and choices. She looks around, marveling at the beauty of her surroundings. She watches the flight of the butterflies, delighting in their freedom. She is completely unaware of the danger that faces her as she nears stepping off a cliff into the unknown. The card symbolizes taking a leap of faith and cautions to be more aware of ever present dangers. Okay. So it may just be me reading it this way, but this kind of doesn't make a little sense. It might. I think it's just me. I am sick, so please do forgive me. Um, but yeah, I do have a couple other decks on the way. Um, so be on the lookout for those. But so we didn't get the Fool in reverse, but I am going to go ahead and read you the reverse meaning. Reverse is reckless behavior, blind optimism, and a total disregard for reality. The Fool is living in a dream world and it is in danger of colliding with a rude awakening. So we have an upright, and this is, I feel like, the first thing that comes to mind is love and relationships here with most of you that are watching this. And some of you are afraid to make the effort. Some of you are thinking that a good person is just gonna, kind of come to you. Um, why I got love and relationships, I'm not exactly sure, but that's the first thing that popped up in my head. It's telling you to take a risk, do something that you haven't done to put yourself out there. Um, and I know that may sound like a vague answer, but there is always something you can do to meet someone. Even if you feel like you tried it all. Well, I've tried online dating. I've tried going to a coffee shop. I've tried all that. But there is always still something that you have not tried. Um, maybe, I don't know, go dancing or something. And to be honest, this is one of those unexpected cards as well. You can always end up finding somebody when you're not looking. Meaning, when you just go to a place, you're not expecting anything, somebody comes up and you start talking, you may have a good time. Things like that. Being more open, um, and accepting, not setting up your standards too high. Just being more, being cautious, but also being carefree. Um, get to know people and don't be so closed off. A lot of couples meet that way. They meet by, they go somewhere they don't plan on meeting somebody and it just happens. So that is what that would be about, I feel. However, it can mean something different for everybody. Um, so I am feeling better, so I'm able to answer and respond to emails a lot quicker now. I'm still sick, but I'm getting better. Um, what I have is acute pharyngitis. It's something close to the flu, I think, but it's not really the flu. However, it has those symptoms. So, my voice is kind of back, but as you can see, I'm still having trouble. Um, and my nose is still pretty stopped up, and I don't have my prescriptions yet. What they did was they just gave me a pill for the night, since obviously the pharmacy was closed at that time of night. Um, so yeah, and it's actually helping. So I still have to get prescriptions. They given me amoxicillin and I think that's what it's called, and Robitussin. So, and the weird thing about Robitussin is somebody actually predicted to me that they said their guide said something about Robitussin, and now a day or two later, I didn't mention it to my doctors because I wanted to see. I figured it would come up. I believed in this person's gift for a long time, and but this just confirmed even more. And they said Robitussin, and I was like, she. There was a reason why it came up. Sometimes messages can pop up differently than what people say. She was telling me that her guide, well, actually, Archangel Michael was telling her that I have, some not minor heart issues. I mean, minor, but they can be serious, and it's difficult to deal with. Um, and medications I've been taking to try to get over this pharyngitis was uh, Tylenol and just Tylenol, and it kind of did some things in my chest. It also made my stomach hurt, and actually I didn't tell her that I was even sick. This reader, she actually told me that she asked me why, because I gave her the feeling that you know she's an empath and so am I. You feel other people's physical pain sometimes. She felt my heart racing, which I feel really bad for because I know that had to be very scary. And yeah, she felt my anxiety, and it was a general message. I didn't ask a question. She said that go ask your doctor about Robitussin. Archangel Michael was telling me to say Robitussin because it won't affect your heart. Um, and I didn't ask because I figured that she's a gifted person, so I already knew they would possibly, a big chance they possibly would um, end up prescribing me Robitussin, so I did not mention it for that reason. It wasn't to test her gift. I didn't mention it because I wanted to see, I was curious to see if it was going to play out in a certain way. And so they gave me one medicine, and then they gave me a different prescription, and they said Robitussin, and I'm like, okay. So it was her guide saying that that's what they were going to give me, not necessarily what I should be taking, but yeah, that too. But it was more of Archangel Michael's way of telling her that that's what they're going to prescribe to her if she goes to the doctor, and she was correct. But yeah, the psychic thing can be kind of scary, but I've embraced it, and I still do have to have help from other people, for my personal life because we can't. A lot of us can't really read for ourselves. We get information about ourselves and our lives, but we still need help when it comes to ourselves. And to be able to be grounded with my abilities, I definitely do have to seek other professionals and other readers because I still need to be mentored. Because my gift is very at a level where it it will cause a lot of anxiety and a lot of panic. um, so I'm still trying to learn how to deal with that because now my gift is very, very strong, and I'm picking up on things I've been doing that, but it's just gotten heightened lately, and I'm not exactly sure why. But anyway, so I don't want to keep rambling because I was only intended to be talking about this deck, but then I got that on my mind somehow. So this is the Crystal Visions Tarot by Jennifer Galasco. Uh, nice, feel like it's an informative guidebook. However, I just wish it wasn't paper, but you know, and there's the box. I think I showed that already, but so yeah. I wish you all love and light, and I'm not exactly sure when I'll be seeing you again, because I'm kind of trying to focus on getting a little bit better. So I'm not doing a lot of videos right now, and I know I've been missing in action, but I promise you I will be back. Um, I do have some other decks coming, so I'm definitely going to be back. And I will be giving a full flick through of this at some point. If you would like that, just remind me in the comments, and I will do that. And this time I will be, it'll be better quality because I probably won't be using my laptop, but that's what I'm using since I'm at my parents'. So I wish you love and light, and I will see you hopefully soon.